Happy New Year! This is Volleyball Explained podcast, and for very first time, for some time, we are going to talk intensively about Polish volleyball. And our co-host today is Piotrek from the channel Volley Time. Thank you, Piotrek, for being here, and you'll be our guide into Polish volleyball this time. Thank you for being here. Dziękuję bardzo.
Thank you very much for the invitation, and of course, Happy New Year to everybody, to every volleyball fan.
Let's start with something which is very interesting and curious into volleyball lately. After European Championships in men and women, both the coaches of the national team of Poland, men and women, respectively Vital Heynen and Nawrocki, will be changed with new names, but we already don't know actually who these names will be. There are a lot of rumors. Let's just mention that Poland underperformed in both Olympic Games in men because the women were not represented there, reaching only the quarterfinal, which was disappointing from the point of view of Polish volleyball, and only a third place in the Euro. Respectively, only a quarterfinal in the women's Euro. So Nawrocki and Heynen will be changed, and there are a lot of rumors for who their successor will be. Let's start with the men's team, because there is one name which is overall in terms of this will be the guy, and this is Nikola Grbic, former coach of ZAKSA just several months ago when ZAKSA won the Champions League, and now a head coach of Perugia. What do you think on this issue? Is Grbic the man, and which are the other options that could be possible for being in charge of the men's national team of Poland?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is a pretty good question. And actually, already the chairman of our Polish Federation, Mr. Sebastian Świderski, has said already that Mr. Grbic is a favorite of this let's say contest. In my opinion, I'm not the biggest fan of that. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the contest, the way how we choose the head coach of national team, because it's a currently, it's a national issue in Polish volleyball, but of course there are a lot of different surnames on the table, like Mr. Plamen Konstantinov, Mr. Lorenzo Bernardi, and I think the fourth one was.
Mendes, probably, or not?
Yes, Marcelo Mendes, but we know already that he is currently the head coach of Asseco Reservas Rzeszów. So he's already in Poland, but he overtook the team from Rzeszów. So yeah, of course, the favorite is just one, Mr. Grbic, Nikola Grbic, and He knows exactly the Polish volleyball because he was the head coach of the best team in Europe, ZAKSA Kędzierzyn Koźle. As you noticed, he has won the Champions League with this team, so he knows already most of the players. So I think two will be a good choice. The question is, does Perugia's chairman, Mr. Sirci, will leave him? I mean, will let him go, because as we know, he has a contract with the Italian club, and Mr. Sirci said already that the two so overwhelming jobs in the same times are very difficult to manage. So the question is, I think that the ball is on Perugia's side. We will see, but I think that decision is already made. So I'm pretty sure that, of course, Mr. Świderski said that we need to wait till 12th of January, but I think the decision is already made. So yeah,
it's a very interesting situation taking into account that Sirci, the chairman of Perugia, says that there shouldn't be a combination of two jobs, and it's very similar thing from the side of Świderski. So both sides believe that Grbic should be a coach of only one team, club or national, and taking into account that Grbic is the favorite, this is a little bit confusing for me, because when you have a contest and it's a contest in terms of something that shouldn't be that official in terms of public, very open for the public, and now we have a contest with a clear favorite, and it's a little bit that if somebody else gets the job instead of Grbic for any reason, it shouldn't be I was the best in this contest, but I was the best just because Grbic didn't get the job, and this is a little bit problematic for me. But let's rephrase my question in this way: who is your favorite if you should take the decision? Do you believe that Grbic is the most appropriate coach for Poland?
Yeah, when we take into consideration just these four surnames, so I would say that Grbic is the best option for us. Yeah, as I said, he knows already Polish volleyball, so he was the coach. He knows the league, so he knows the player. Yeah, I think it will be a great coach for us. So I can imagine that he will be the next head coach on the bench of Polish national team.
Yeah, let's just mention that from these four coaches you mentioned, only Pamen Konstantinov hasn't been a coach in Poland. He all the time he has been coaching so far. He was a coach only of Russian teams. Bernardi was a coach of Jastrzębski Węgiel, and now Mendes is a coach of Asseco Resovia. We are going to talk about Asseco Resovia a little bit later. Let's go now to the women's team, where the situation is also very interesting because Jacek Nawrocki left. But according to some media some time ago, one of the favorites for the position of the head coach of the women's national team was actually the former coach of the men's national team, Vital Heynen. Do you believe that this is possible? And if not, which are the other options?
Yeah, of course, it was a hot news, of course, in Polish media. It was right after European Championship, but I don't believe that Vital will be the head coach of our women's national team. I think the Polish Federation is currently after the let's say first selection, and I'm pretty sure also the media rumors says that there are three candidates on the table. It's Massimo Barbolini, Daniele Santarelli, and Stefano Lavarini. And the last coach, Mr. Lavarini, probably
not anymore.
Right. So I think there are professional people in the Polish Federation, and they will choose wisely and with the best approach. And so I think it's gonna be, of course, their choice. And I don't have any favorite in this race, let's say.
Yeah, let's just mention Massimo Barbolini, head coach of Scandici, I believe, now in Italy. Santarelli, head coach of Imoco Volley Conegliano and the Croatian national team, and Lavarini, he was a head coach during the Olympic Games of the Korean national team. Women are very very strong names in terms of women's volleyball. So it's going to be interesting because, of course, Poland can rely on very good players and can be in the contest for further championships, including World Championships, European, and also the Olympic Games in Paris in 2024, of course, with Joanna Walsh, Magdalena Stisiak, Agnieszka Konkulewska, and others. Of course, also Smażek. Okay, let's go to the club volleyball topic and the Polish Plusliga. We haven't talked in the podcast that much about Polish volleyball, but now we are going to compensate for this one. Last year, ZAKSA was the ultimate dominator during the regular season, but at the end, they was not able to win the title. Jastrzębski Węgiel with Andrea Gardini in charge won it. Now it's pretty much the same thing. ZAKSA changed their setter. They had Benjamin Tuniuti, now Marcin Janusz. Yeah. They changed also the libero, Paweł Zatorski with Eric Shoji, and in the regular starting roster, they have also Norbert Huber for Jakub Kochanowski. And of course, the head coach, because Grbic left and go to Perugia, George Crețu is the new head coach, the Romanian, the new head coach of ZAKSA.
Yes. Right.
In your opinion, why actually ZAKSA didn't make a step back? They're just as good as the other. They don't have any defeats, and they have just 2 matches won in a tiebreak against Warszawa and Skra.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, without no doubt. So ZAKSA plays the best volleyball currently in the Polish league. So even if they used to play a bit worse, like in Bełchatów or against Warszawa, they have won. So it means that even if they play a bit, even if their game is not so good, they still winning. So it means that they are a complete team. Of course, 3 main players have left the team, as you mentioned, Zatorski, Kochanowski, and especially Toniuti. So the big question mark was by Marcin Janusz. Can he replace such a good setter like Benjamin Toniuti? But to be honest, he plays a very, very good season. So he has already a few MVP awards for a few games. I think 2 or 3, but I'm not sure. I need to check it. So he plays very well. So the strongest part of ZAKSA is, of course, attack from both wings. So actually they play the 3rd season in the same roster, Semeniuk, Śliwka, Kaczmarek. So this is their main weapon. Of course, they got a very, very good reception. Eric Shoji is also one of the best liberos in the world. So even that he had the first games not on the top level, currently he plays very well, and so I think the ZAKSA plays, as I said before, the best volleyball in our country in that moment. So of course we are right after the first round. We're gonna see how it's gonna look like at the end of the season.
Yeah, it will be very interesting, and probably the biggest competitor of ZAKSA against ZAKSA is again Jastrzębski Węgiel. They have a new setter, Benjamin Tuniuti. They started the season with Stefan Bouillet, but now he's injured, and they get a backup opposite. The starting opposite will be Jan Hadrava, the Czech opposite, also a very decent and good player. And they took another backup setter just in case, and this is Arpad Barotti, former opposite of ZAKSA. With yes. Tomasz Fornau, just remind me, Tomasz Fornau and
Kleveno.
Yeah, and Kleveno, Olympic champion with Jakub Pupivchak as a libero. A middle blocker I very much like because I believe he's a very leading force in Jastrzębski, Yuri Gladier.
Yes.
So do you believe that there is a possibility that Jastrzębski can surprise ZAKSA at the end of the season again?
Yeah, this is sports, so everything can happen. So during the season can happen many things. So the up and downs with your sport form, injuries, and I'm not I don't wish anybody to get injury, of course, but sometimes it happens. Yeah, so and you need to manage it. Yeah, the last season has shown that everything can happen in this league. So at the end of the season, so we thought that ZAKSA was kind of a tank. Yeah, so they ruined everything actually in our league. But at the end of the season, Jastrzębski Węgiel has played very good games and they well deserved the gold medals. So I'm pretty sure that there is a possibility that ZAKSA won't win a championship, but of course they got a big chance. There are a lot of great teams in the league, so yeah, we're gonna see. So I can tell you that I watch many games in the Polish Plusliga, and yeah, I think this is the strongest Plusliga I ever watched. Yeah, there are many teams that are very strong, and yeah, the games are very interesting.
Yeah, we're going to cover another problems with not problems, but let's say news with coaches getting fired. But let's go to something a little bit different. Which is for you the positive surprise so far in Plusliga, and also which is the negative surprise?
Yeah, for I would say that Projekt Warszawa is for me something. It's a surprise for me. Maybe it's not a biggest surprise, but I thought at the beginning of the season that during this season, because yeah, they got very strong first roster. Yeah, with Nowakowski Wrona in the middle as a middle, Kwolek, Grobelny, left wing spikers. Opposite is Petkovic, and currently the main setter is Trinidad, Angel De Haro. Yeah, so and I was told that they got a pretty short bench for me. Of course, it's just my opinion, and they won't get it. But yeah, till now they are third in the league, so it's a surprise for me. Also, number 8. Team in the league table. It's Luke Lubin. So it's a new team in our league, and they have won already 5 games. So yeah, so it's also a big surprise. From the negative perspective, I would say that Aseko Wysowia Rzeszów is the team who fails currently, but of course they still got a second round to back it up and to back on the right track. So we know exactly that they got a new coach, Mr. Marcelo Mendes, and yeah, we're gonna see if he can change. I don't know, some attitude, behavior on the court. It's up to him. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see them on the court with a new coach.
Yeah,
so, yeah, please.
Yeah, they got in the summer Fabian Gizga, they got Jakub Kochanowski and Paweł Zatorski, and it's a bit of a surprise that they are negative in terms of they have more defeats than wins at the moment. So Alberto Giuliani left the club, and now Marcelo Mendes, as we mentioned several times so far, is the new coach. Something additional I'd like to mention of another team. Zawiercie is 4th ranked now yes. in the Polish Plusliga, and this is a very interesting team, at least for me, because firstly they have a very nice crowd. fans.
Jurassic Nights.
Yeah, Jurassic Nights. Very interesting with these green and yellow colors. Secondly, they're a team which I've made before when Mark Lebedew was the head coach of the team. I made a podcast with him. I'd made also with Igor Kovakovic, but I believe he wasn't still the head coach as he's now. And in principle, they're a team with many sponsors. An average team with not big sponsor, like for example, they have very big. I mean, like Orlen or PGE and etc. But my idea is that this season they have bigger stars: Facundo Conte, Uroš Kovačević, David Konarski, as in principle. How this happened? What is the reasoning? Because very recently you also made a podcast with Kovakovic.
Yes. How did it happen? I think you should ask the president of Zawiercie. So I think he's the best person to answer on this question. But yeah, Zawiercie is a very romantic story actually in Plusliga. So we know exactly that. I think 3 years ago with Mark Lebedew on the bench, they achieved 4th place, which was the best result in the club's history. So yeah, it was a great result and kind of impulse for the president that yeah, we can do great things. We can do great things in Zawiercie. This is a pretty small town, but yeah, it doesn't matter. So Kędzierzyn and Bełchatów are also small towns, but there is a big volleyball there. So yeah, when I saw the roster, the transfers rumors, yeah, about Uroš Kovačević, about Facundo Conte, I was like, wow, what the heck? So this is Zawiercie. This is Zawiercie, not ZAKSA. So I can say that, yeah, as I watch all the games, it's of course my private opinion that Uroš Kovačević is the best transfer in the Plusliga. He's the guy. He's a natural born winner. So and yeah. As you said, as I mentioned, I've spoken with Mr. Igor Kovakovic, and he said already that, yeah, he's a guy who likes to win. He likes to receive all the most difficult balls during the game. So, and yeah, he gets them. So, and he's very special guy. So I can imagine that Zawiercie can achieve a medal in this season because even if they got the pretty big problems with the reception because they very often play on the high balls. But yeah, having these kind of players like Kovačević, Conte, they got a double world champion, David Konarski. So yeah, all this mix contains big stars, big names, and big skills. So yeah, I'm just curious when they start to receive a bit better. So how it's gonna look at their game. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that they get a big chance to get the medal. And yeah, as I said, currently they are on the 3rd place, but they are just 1 point behind the 3rd place. So yeah, it's a very interesting project, and yeah. Hope that they will show even better volleyball.
Okay, the last team I would like to talk about is Skra Bełchatów, because Skra Bełchatów is a very traditional team in Poland, but in the last years they are in a bit of a crisis. They changed some coaches for some time. Your last guest in your podcast in Volley Time, Michał Gogol, was the head coach. Now the head coach is Slobodan Kovac. Why do you believe that Bełchatów is not able to be where they were some years ago?
Well, yeah, the simplest answer is that the league is better than than ever. So you got a lot of potential in many teams like ZAKSA, like Jastrzębski, Warszawa. You mentioned Zawiercie, so you got fourth. You still got a second Soviet. This is fifth team with great players with great skills. Also, you got Olsztyn, which is actually also a very interesting project because they signed probably the best opposite player in our league, Karol Budrin. They got the two American players, Taylor Averill and TJ DeFalco, which is also a very good sign and very good transfer to Polish league. He's a very good player. He's shown already his skills, and they are unbelievable. So and
still they changed their coach. They are sixth, but still they fired Bonita.
Yes, they fired Bonita because okay. So but it's not related to the results.
Mm-hmm.
So from my knowledge is that the official statement was the private reasons, but there are many rumors that there wasn't chemistry between the players and the coach. So the president of the club has decided to fire the coach. And so back to your question. So as you see, you got around 6 or 7 very good teams, and to win is very tough. I think that Skra was in the past season on the 4th place, and 2 years ago they were 3rd. But of course we didn't finish the season, so we didn't hang the medals on the necks of the players because of COVID, of the pandemic. So, but they were 3rd. So actually, in comparison to the season 3 years ago, so it was a progress because 3 years ago they were 6th. 2 years ago they were 3rd, and last season they were 4th. So actually it was a progress, but even because of that, the chairman has decided to replace Michał Mieszko. Slobodan Kovac is now the coach. So best of luck. But currently they are 5th in the league, but as I said before, the league is toughest than ever in Poland. So I would say that there is a lot of work before them.
Okay, of course we're going to follow closely Plusliga and make if we can do this another podcast later during of course 2022. But let's finish this podcast, the first of the new year, for another topic which I'm very interested in, and I will use the possibility to ask you about this, because the way of financing Polish volleyball is very interesting for me. I'm very curious about it, because in the last 20 years, Polish volleyball just erupted a very big improvement, not only in terms of national team, but also in terms of club teams. But how is Polish volleyball financed? I know, for example, that Orlen is a very big oil company. I've been in Poland just once for now, but I saw these big oil stations and gas stations of Orlen. For example, Plus is a mobile operator, actually the sponsor of the patron of the whole league. And also, for example, in the field of energetics, for example, PGE, the sponsor of Bełchatów, and Jastrzębski Węgiel is a traditional coal city and respectively coal company, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this the way a big company sponsoring, and how is, for example, the case in other teams? We mentioned that Zawiercie use a little bit of another approach.
Yes, so I saw a small report sponsoring inside, and it says that 82% of sponsorship in Poland comes from national treasure companies. 9% of this sponsorship comes from a private sector, and 9% and another 9% from the local councils. So yeah, so these are the counts. And how does look collaboration with Polish League? So around 20 years ago, so Plus and Polsat has decided to collaborate with Polish Volleyball League, and yeah. So you need to know that if you want to be successful, what do you need? So the first of all, you need a group of talented people. Second thing, you need to have a people who can manage it. And the third thing is you need money. So actually, there was a group of talented people in the 90s, let's say, but we weren't successful. So then, when we received more money from the private sector or from the national treasure companies, so we could sign the best trainers in the world, like Raul Lozano, like Anastasi. Yeah, take a look on the list of the coaches currently in Plusliga. It's I'm pretty sure the best coaches in in the world, they are in Plusliga currently. So you got Igor Kolakovic, you got Gianni Kretu, you got Marcelo Mendes, Javier Weber, Slobo Kovac, so Andrea Anastasi. So, well, it counts, okay.
Yeah, Gardini is also. Yeah.
It's also Gardini, yeah. So there are a lot of great coaches, but they came here because, yeah, the league has grew up, and we got, you know, volleyball is a business as well, so there is money here. So, but we had to. The path was very long, and we had to do it step by step. So, the first TV transmission. Yeah, currently you can watch all the games from every round of Plusliga. So it means that when you start to watch Plusliga on the weekend on 2 p.m. On Saturday, you end up on Monday because there are a lot of games. So every game you can watch in TV. So it's cool, but of course there is a private sector like Zawiercie or Asseco Resovia. So all these clubs and the others, of course, they get sponsored from the private sector. So there are still a group of people. There are still people who believe in volleyball in Poland. Of course, this is business for them. It's obvious, but thanks to that money, we can sign Uroš Kovačević, Facundo Conte, Sam Dero, Kleven Čebul. So we can see all the best stars from all around the world. Yeah, it's all about money. So currently, the not Orlen, but Plus and Polsat has signed a contract with Polish Volleyball League up till 2028, I think. So the next 7 years. All the games will be transmitted on Polsat. So yeah, and you know that's cool. Business like silence, business like silence, and there is not a big rumors about it. We currently we got it because we know that we got it. Yeah, so we get used to it that we have volleyball on the highest level. So I think basically that's it. So. Yeah.
Just to reiterate, Orlen, PGE, and also Węgiel are state-owned companies, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because just as a matter of a joke, but I hope that state-owned companies are better managed than the Bulgarians. It sees that it is the case, but still, this is not surprising for me, but probably it could be surprising for the followers. I have heard something, but I didn't know the number. 80%, just to mention that again, 80%, 82% of the sponsorship in Polish volleyball comes from the state. 9%
in Polish sport.
In Polish sport.
In Polish sport. Yeah. So this is important.
Not in volleyball, in sport. Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have detailed data about volleyball, but if I will have it, I will tell you. Yeah.
For example, I know that Orlen are a personal sponsor of Robert Kubica in Formula One, even when he left Williams and went to Alfa Romeo, they became a sponsor of Alfa Romeo because they are a personal sponsor of Orlen, which is actually a proof for what we are talking and you are talking about this 82%. Okay, that was a very nice explanation and very interesting one, because it's at least one way of financing sport and making sports better, especially in terms of volleyball when we are talking about Poland. And so probably that's a very nice end also to the podcast. Thank you for being a co-host of this edition of Volleyball Explained podcast. And I hope that you're going to be here also another time. Thank you.
With a pleasure. Thank you very much. So have a great evening, and God bless you all.
Thank you. Thanks also to the listeners or to the spectators for watching or listening to us for the very first time in the new year. And of course, I hope that you're going to do it also the next time. Subscribe to the channel, or just subscribe as a follower in Spotify if you listen there, or in some of the other audio platforms. And Happy New Year. Bye-bye.
Happy New Year, guys.